Hey everyone, and welcome back to a very special episode of Nintendo Direct. I'm going to throw this over to Steven immediately because we have a lot to talk about and not very much time to do it in.
You just said this was an episode of Nintendo Direct. Good one.
That's the way I roll, man. What's wrong?
So obviously what he meant to say was we're doing a Fanboyz episode, and we're going to do this because they just did a Nintendo Direct, which is why Jarrod was confused. And
I'm not confused, damn it. I'm not confused. This is a new episode of Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, you heard it. So we're going to talk about the Pokemon news. We're going to do this. This will go live on YouTube as soon as Jarrod can. We're not going to wait for the regular 2-week schedule. This will go on iTunes and podcast, audio, everywhere as soon as it's done, like usual. We're actually doing this. I have my son right now who's going to come join us. He just figured out that we're doing a podcast because we wanted to do this right away. It's been literally 23 minutes since the podcast has been finished, or 25 minutes rather, the podcast, the Direct. Now you're getting me confused. So we want to talk about Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, which were just revealed to be released in late 2019, which I'm assuming will be around November 15 and whatnot. But I'll just give it to Jarrod a bit for him to give us his initial thoughts on the trailer, as I'll just see what's up with Soka.
Damn you. Okay, so the trailer itself I thought was good. I thought they did a good job of just very quickly, like showing the 3 starter Pokemon, which are, hold on. I've got it right here. There's the grass type is this monkey thing called Grookey. Then there's fire type is a Score Bunny. And the water type is, I think it was Sobble, is how it was pronounced. And that's pretty much all that we know, right? We know the 2019 release. We know that the new region is called the Galar region. And, of course, that it's called Pokemon Sword and Shield. But that's literally all we got to go by. But the trailer itself was what? What do you think? Like, just a few minutes long, no?
Yeah, I just rewatched it, and it's actually 1 minute and 12 seconds. Then they pull to stuff that they say is not actual gameplay, where they reveal the 3 starters, which obviously that reveal of the starters was not like doesn't seem to use the engine. It was just made to showcase them. My first thoughts, like we've had a discussion on this on text. When I saw that, was I really like the art style of the game. I just rewatched it. And maybe I'm totally wrong. I do not think it's the same engine as Let's Go. It could be. But I believe those games were in development way before Let's Go. But I could be totally wrong, because to me they look like a 3DS game on drugs. They look like the Sun and Moon engine, but in HD. But like I'm no expert in this. I could be totally wrong. But I did like what they looked like, though. I liked it. They seemed a bit more cartoony-ish. They remind me more of the 3DS games. I really liked what I saw. The other thing, too, is that this revealed that they're going back to random battles, which we've always presumed they would, because they've always said this was going to be a traditional Pokemon game, but you can clearly see it at the beginning. A character is walking into the grass, then you get the battle screen cut, pretty similar to the 3DS games, and then you see a Pikachu appear, and then you throw out your Pokemon, and you have a battle with it, and you try to catch it. So we know that the Let's Go mechanics are gone for the better, I believe, but that was confirmed. That's another thing we can tell. We also know that gyms are back. Unfortunately, it seems like they're going to go back to the gyms having 1 type per gym leader, because we saw, I think, a grass gym. I think that's what we saw. And that's pretty much it on top of my head. I know there was a few more things. Maybe they'll come back to me when you talk. But yeah, that's what we saw.
Yeah, so in terms of like the visuals or whatever, I mean, I in text I just said, I think they're using the same engine, and I still think
they could very well be.
It's just because I found the characters, like the main characters, had like the same sort of dynamic range. But you could be totally right. I haven't watched it again since we did this. But I liked it. Like I liked it. My first impression was like, okay, this looks nice, like this looks cool. I'm very curious they showed like the world map sort of deal, and maybe it's just me, but it looks like a pipe. Like it looks like a very long or a rectangle sort of thing, but turned on its side. I'm kind of curious to see how that actually plays out when we like jump in to see like the size and scope and stuff, because it does look like it has a nice diversity. Going back to what you were saying about like random encounters and stuff like that, that was the first thing that I noticed, is that in the grass I didn't see like a Pokemon just show up sort of deal. It was like you got sucked into battle type of thing, which is really interesting, because this was something that both of us were like, like how's this actually gonna work when it comes like to the next gen game. Find the title of the game to be kind of funny. I've never, just so you know I've never been a big fan of the names of these games. I find it, I mean, they do tie it into the story, but I always find it kind of ridiculous. Like I was joking to Steven, basically saying that, what's next? Like Pokemon Desk and Chair and stuff like that. For me, that's just me. That's just a personal thing where I just find the names are kind of ridiculous. Like I'm certain one day we'll have like pencil and crayon and like something ridiculous. But whatever. Names aside, they do a good job of tying it in to the actual story. Like we were talking in text saying about like Sun and Moon and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. Like, so what happens now, man?
Well, usually what they do after the initial reveal is that almost every month we'll get a new trailer. Usually they concentrate on new Pokemon. They reveal new Pokemon. They did say in this that they were gonna challenge themselves to bring new features into this game, which is a bit scary to me, because for them sometimes new features is silly stuff like Pokemon Ami, or the camera they added to Ultra Sun and Moon, which was like they've added these new stores where you could go and edit your camera, your photos and stuff like that, which really doesn't really do it for me. It doesn't add anything exciting to the gameplay, and much rather them concentrate on either making the game more difficult, but really what I'd want them is probably them to give us difficulty options, because I know they don't want this to be they want this to stay kid friendly, which I don't believe kid friendly should mean easy, because the original Pokemon games were not necessarily the hardest games ever, but as a kid I remember them being pretty challenging, and it did not seem to discourage kids from playing the games at all. So I do hope that they at least give us difficulty options, at least for us, the guys like me who are veterans of the series and who play these games to death and are a bit unfortunately not challenged that much with some of the games sometimes, especially when they don't offer us much in terms of online modes, which is another thing. I really want them to concentrate on the online modes, really make it easy for us to find a trade or a battle partner without necessarily having to resort to other platforms like mobile phones or online forums to find people, and maybe just ranking up the offerings, like some more options for battles, like 6-on-6 random has always been something that I've wanted forever now, and it's not been there. They've also haven't clarified it with Pokemon Bank, and usually when Sun and Moon was announced, we saw even less than we did with this new game, but they did mention the Pokemon Bank thing, because they had mentioned that Red, Blue, and Yellow would be available with Pokemon Bank to transfer to Sun and Moon. So that's a bit worrying, because I hope they don't abandon that platform. That would be very, very stupid in my opinion. But yeah, that's usually what happens next.
Okay, cool. With the bank, I think it has to. Like it has to stick around. It's impossible for it not to, even if they don't allow you to no, it has to. It just has to. Like there's no way that they would like ditch it. I'm just wondering though, because the bank goes both ways, correct? Like if I like day one, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like day one I could have logged on to the bank and brought in my pokes from any of the other generations, right?
Not really.
Not really?
Not really. It only works. It works one way in the sense now you can from the 3DS games they can go up all the way to Sun and Moon. Once they're in Sun and Moon, they can't go back. And if you want to go from the DS, you have to use the transporter.
No. Okay, yeah, that's not what I meant though. What I meant is like day one. Your dog is very happy.
Yeah, because there's a guy here for the bathroom, so I'm gonna have to go soon. If you want to wrap this up.
Okay, well go. Just go. I'll end it off, and I'll just put my comments. Well, now he's gone. Basically, what I was trying to refer to is the fact that, like, day one you could import, I believe, anything that you had into the bank, and that was what I was much more interested in, was to say, like, okay, so if you could import all of these different pokes, then that means they have a buttload that they would have to make, and then that I could see as being a potential issue. But who knows? I mean, we're going to find out. We'll see what happens. And now that Steven has left and I'm charged with just wrapping this up, I just wanted to say, what do you guys think? What do you think of the reveal? Are you excited? Are you worried? Are you nervous? I'm actually, I'm content. I think that was actually a really well done little teaser. And we'll see from there. I think we'll be able to have multiple sort of micro conversations about this as more and more information gets released. I'm still curious why they keep with the grass, fire, water types for the starters. I still don't quite understand why they do that, why they haven't spiced it up with just radically different things. But hey, whatever. It is what it is. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone else, we will catch you next time on another episode of Nintendo Fanboyz.